How's it going, YouTube? Got FourthStarTCG here, and today I have a massive PSA submission. This is the first of two orders that I'm sending in at the $18 per card PSA July National Special. I'm really excited for this. I think $18 per card is pretty much the tier that I'm happy to start really sending off a lot of my cards. You know, the $30 value tier, I had about 20-ish cards that I was ready to send off. But now that we're down to 18, I think it's a great time to really start cracking in. So this first order, this is English cards and cards, Japanese cards through the Diamond and Pearl era, and then my second order is just going to be about Japanese cards, Hard Gold through Soul Silver through Modern Sword and Shield. So this is a lot for me. This first order I think is about 95 cards. I'm really excited to get this off. So without any further ado, let's crack into it and start showing off all of these awesome cards that I'm submitting. And as I go through, I'll talk a little bit more about each one and also the PSA special that we're getting. First off, I got Special Delivery Bidoof. We'll do all the English ones first. There are not a lot of English cards. Special Delivery Bidoof, pretty cool. I was lucky enough to get a Bidoof code and get a Bidoof card. I love the memes here. Now that Special Delivery Charizard, they're finally releasing it, but I thought this was just the perfect meme card. This is actually pretty expensive. I think it's like 150, 200 bucks raw. Mine's probably a 9, got some edge issues or corner ding right there. A little off center top to bottom, so pretty much thinking a 9 on this Bidoof, but we'll see. Here's something you very rarely see on this channel. It's English WotC Hollows. I actually went through a lot of my old boxes recently, and I found just these old cards that were kind of worth nothing in the 2015, 2016 when I got them. But now they're pretty nice. So we have a Giovanni from Gym Challenge Unlimited Edition. This is really clean, actually. It would not surprise me to get a 10 on this Giovanni. Back's really clean. I don't know if there might be some hollow scratches or something. But yeah, I'd be very happy with really any high grade on the Giovanni. Next up, we also have another WotC Hollow Giovanni's Persian from Gym Challenge. Another very cool WotC Hollow. Again, I don't really collect a lot of these, but this was just sitting in a box, and I don't think this is 10 quality. Got a little tiny ding in each couple corner or something, but still very, very nice. So pretty happy with that. We'll see how that does off at PSA. Next up, we got a Blaziken Hollow, just sort of a pretty standard Blaziken from Power Keepers. I think I might have pulled this myself or something. 10 would not surprise me. Very, very clean, very, very nice, centering on point. But the standard is 9s on these old English cards, so would not be disappointed with that. Here's the final English card, really nice Mew Reverse Hollow from Legend Maker. This is another one that I was really surprised to find in my box of old cards, just kind of sitting there in a sleeve. This is really clean, probably a 9 on this, and that would be really nice. I'd be very happy to grab this this Reverse Hollow Mew in a high PSA grade. So yeah, it's really interesting that PSA has sort of dropped the prices so significantly. I think people might be holding off on submitting cards. So PSA is just trying to get a lot in. I think the backlog right now is pretty much if we're thinking, okay, where's the massive backlog? I think it's probably in assembly and shipping right now. And the graders have kind of gotten through the backlog. So it's all right, well, we got to get more cards in for the graders to do. So here we go. I have the remaining. I submitted the Articuno from the Quick Starter gift set. Was hoping that would get a 10. It did get a 9. But I have the Zapdos and the Moltres holo here. Zapdos probably like an 8 just because of the centering here, I'm thinking, which is pretty off, but still very, very nice. Would love to grab that. This Moltres is a 9-10 kind of on the edge card. Trying to catch the holo pattern in the light there, a little challenging. But yeah, probably on the edge. Back, very little. All these cards are really clean on the back, which is nice. But yeah, hoping for a high grade on both of those. And yeah, that's another thing you don't really see much on this channel is Japanese old back. But next up, I have something that I'm really excited to submit. So I've been slowly getting through submitting my Split Earth set that I purchased last year. I think it was last February 2021. And the only thing left I have to submit is the full holo set. So this is a full first edition Split Earth holo set. And I'm really excited about this. These cards are beautiful. And I figure at this point, you know, might as well get the entire set off and get it all graded. So we got Ledian holo, first edition. Yeah, this is all of these cards are going to be first edition, and all of these cards are going to be really, really clean on the back. This is a pure mint Split Earth set. I think every single card that I've graded from this set so far has graded a 10. So I got the 3 crystals, all 10s. I graded the Umbreon, 10. So yeah, that's the only holo card that's missing from this set is the Umbreon, as I already graded that. So yeah, really excited about this. I won't show off the backs for everything as they are really mint, but man, this artwork is so good. I love E-Series artwork. I collected it a little bit, you know, several years ago, probably like 2017-ish. But then I ended up selling pretty much most of my E-Series collection, but always happy to, and you know, E-Series isn't really a focus of my collecting, but I do love I love the artwork. This Crobat, this is one of the best card artworks, I think. So cool. Here's a really nice one that might not sneak by at the $200 value limit. This Vaporeon, beautiful holo in the desert. Just love it. So nice. With regards to upcharging, and I'll sort of just go through a couple other cards as I discuss upcharging. Beautiful Politoed. Upcharging I don't really mind because I'm much more comfortable with PSA telling me which cards, like PSA doing the work and doing the legwork to kind of figure out, here's my cargo, which cards are above the value tier that I submit at, than me doing that. And you know, PSA upcharges you, but they sure as hell don't downcharge you if it turns out that the card graded lower than, you know, what you were expecting. So while something like a 10 of this Flareon is probably above $200, and a 9 it probably isn't, you know. So if I pay $30 to grade this card and it gets a 9, PSA isn't going to knock $12 off the grading fee because it doesn't hit that higher value tier. So I'm fine sort of mixing these higher valued cards into a, you know, $200 max submission tier and just kind of letting PSA do the work to figure it out, how much I owe. Beautiful Starmie. I love this. Hajime Kusahima, of course, fantastic artist, did a lot for the E-Series, did the Crystal Ho-Oh as well. Really, really nice. Here's another one that might come in above the $200 value tier, depending on what grade it gets. This beautiful Alakazam, Kimya Masago art there, fantastic. Yeah, this one is really, really nice. Let's grab a drink of water here real quick. Doing a full video, just me talking without much interlude can be a little rough on the old vocal cords. But Raikou is up next. This is one that I had previously in a 10 but ended up selling. So it'd be great to reclaim that back into the collection. Again, E-Series is something that I put a ton of effort into collecting, but something like when this Split Earth set popped up, I was basically I was very, very happy to go after it. And I've sold a couple cards from the Split Earth set, and I've already made my money back and more. And I basically got this holo set for free. I think I sold the Golem, the Kabutops Crystal, and the Umbreon holo. That made back the cost of both the set and grading all of those cards. So I basically got this Crystal Ho-Oh in a 10 and this entire holo set for free, which is pretty amazing. I got 2 copies of Jolteon. The one in the card saver is the first one. That's the one that comes from the set. And then this one is just another one that I picked up along the way over the last 1.5 years that it's been since PSA value was open. My last submission was PSA value submission was in December. Well, technically I'm kind of like, my last PSA value submission was a couple weeks ago, but like bulk, large amounts of cards, 50 plus submission was in December of 2020. So it's been a very long time, but really happy to get back to this like large amounts of cards. It's expensive to grade now. You know, the difference between $10 and $18 a card is pretty significant, but that's just the way things roll. Everything's more expensive now, but the cards that I'm submitting are also worth more. So that's kind of all works out. Beautiful Yukamori Raichu there. Just love it. I think we're coming down to the end of the holo set here. Beautiful Kabutops, Kuki Saito art, fantastic. Again, these E-Series are always just a collection of such fantastic artists, and it's really, really exciting to grade these cards. I have a lot more E-Series that I do need to grade, but I'm holding off on it. I can only afford to submit so many cards because it's still really expensive, $18 a card, you know, for PSA bulk, when the past submissions I've been doing are, you know, 5 cards, 6 cards, that kind of stuff. Beautiful Poliwrath looking up at the moon. Now your Kimura art, fantastic. This works so well with the holo pattern. I think you've also got, is that an Aerodactyl or, I think that is an Aerodactyl in the background, yeah. But still, really cool, just those kind of little touches that you love to see on these cards. Next up, Rhydon. Very, very nice. Mitsuhiro Rita art, fantastic. Yeah, as I said, E-Series is a collection of amazing, amazing artists. Midori Harada as well on this awesome Fortress. And that's going to do it for the Split Earth holo set. So as I mentioned, I'm thinking the standard is going to be 10 on those cards. There might be some 9s sprinkled here and there. Have another drink of water there. Might be some 9s sprinkled in here and there, but I'm hoping that 10 is pretty much the standard on those cards. I'm you know, 9s, but really hoping that we get a good amount of 10s. All right, now moving into the EX era, I have a ton of awesome EXR cards to submit. First off, we'll start off with a couple promos. I have this Maze Torchic from the Shogakukan Elementary set. This is pretty interesting. I don't really know a ton about these cards. I know they're pretty rare and hard to find. This is actually a really nice copy. I can't find really much wrong with it at all. I don't know what these go for in high grades. I'm just kind of throwing it in here and seeing, all right, you know, how often do these sell, you know, if PSA is going to have a comp for it. But, you know, we'll see. pretty happy to get this. It's a really cute card. I love the Torchic art. I think it's like it must be like a screenshot from a movie or something, because it says the artist Pikachu project, which is cool. So we got the Maze Torchic from the Shogakukan Elementary set. We'll see how that grades. We'll see how much it's worth. I don't really know. Next up, we got another promo here. This is the Blastoise. This is promo number 1 out of the PCG-P set. This is another Korokoro promo, I believe. So this is another pretty clean card. Yeah, I don't really see... I see something that's just kind of in the card saver there. But this is very clean, very nice. Hoping we get a 10 on that. And that's all I have for promos. I'm not submitting too many promos. Again, I have a lot of cards that are that I'm just kind of waiting on because I did them out. I have about 310 cards that I need to grade and that are kind of like worth grading right now. I have many times more that just, you know, aren't necessarily worth grading at this point, but maybe in the future once grading prices come down. But yeah, I had to cut it down to about 150, 160 cards for this special, just because I don't have all that. I don't have a ton of money. So I have 3 copies of Dark Tyranitar. These first 2 are unlimited edition. I'm hoping we get 1 to 2 10s out of these. I love this artwork, Nakoaka artwork, really cool. The holographic Dark Tyranitar is one of the best cards from Rocket Gang Strikes Back. And yeah, really happy to finally get a couple of them. So these 2 are unlimited edition. It's very hard to tell. It took me a long time to figure out how to do unlimited edition. But the way you can tell if you're looking on these Rocket Gang Strikes Back cards, it's really hard. If you look down in the bottom, that one last little dot there in the corner, if it's first edition, you're going to be able to see a tiny little piece of the first edition symbol in that corner. So doesn't have it there, doesn't have it there. Those are the first 2, but then on the third, if we look, there is just the tiniest little sliver of a first edition. You can just see the top of the 1 right there where my thumb is. My camera can't even focus in. You can just see the top of the 1 in that corner. So we got 2 unlimited and 1 first edition. Again, I wouldn't trust the PSA labels on these. I would, you know, get a microscope for yourself if you're trying to collect these in specific editions. Because man, figuring that out is really hard, and I'm not even 100% sure that I have it right. But continuing on with the EXR holos in Japanese, we have this beautiful Vaporeon holo. Just love it. First edition, I think this is pretty clean as well. Might have some tiny stuff on the top. Just barely see that there. So 9 or 10 on this I'm hoping for. Most of these cards I'm kind of hoping will be in that 9-10 range. I'm not submitting a lot of lower condition cards in this grading submission. We got Jolteon to go with the Vaporeon. I don't have the Flareon. That one's been pretty difficult to come by, but I do have the Jolteon. Beautiful Kuki Saito art. If I was ever going to get a card signed by Kuki Saito, this is probably one of the ones that I would do. I think the Vaporeon is also Kuki Saito, and probably the Flareon is as well. So that would be a killer trio of cards to have signed. But yeah, really nice. Yeah, imagine doing that in like red, yellow, and blue ink on the respective cards. Whew, that'd be nice. Next up, we got Deoxys Speed from the Holon Phantom set. Another Delta Species holo. I'm trying to collect the Delta Species holos. It's a slow going. But I'm getting there. That's a long-term collection goal that I've basically just kind of, it's a side collection goal, but I have a page on my spreadsheet for it, and I have a completion percentage. So I think I'm at like 25%. So not really significant, but I do have the Charizard, and I have the Blastoise, so we're mostly there. I joke, but there we go. So Deoxys Speed, pretty clean on this. Hopefully we will grab the 10 grade, but we'll see. Another drink there, and we'll keep going. Continuing with the Delta Species Hollows, we got Blastoise from Miracle Crystal, one of the top Delta Species Hollows. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. This looks pretty clean, so I'm hoping we do get the 10 grade on this. But yeah, even in a 9, this is worth a good bit of money. So we'll be certainly happy to finally get some cards like really churning off at PSA. You know, the past year and a half has probably been one of my most prolific periods of purchasing raw cards, but I really haven't been able to get a lot graded other than the really big stuff that's worth sending off. You know, the stuff that's $1,000, $1,500, that kind of stuff in value. Check that out. This is one of the best Delta Species card artworks, and who do you know? It's Hajime Kusahima. Kusahima, probably one of my favorite TCG artists. Just incredible stuff. And this Ninetales is no different. So this is from the Japanese Dragon Frontier set. This set is so hard to grade, mostly because of the centering issues, which is especially present in first edition, but also present in Unlimited edition. It is very hard to find a well-centered Dragon Frontiers card. So yeah, just look up Japanese Dragon Frontiers on eBay and just look at what pops up. They're almost all of them off-center. But I was lucky enough to grab this Ninetales, and it is in really clean condition. You know, the hard thing about grading this stuff is not only does it have to be in perfect condition for the 10 grade, but you do have to hit the centering lottery as well. So that just makes it really, really hard, because you basically have, you know, for most cards, you just have to find one that, you know, hasn't been damaged over, you know, 10, 15 years or something. But there's that whole other aspect of the centering that's added in. You can see it a little bit on this this other card, this Feraligatr from Japanese Dragon Frontiers. You can see the centering is off from left to right, but still pretty hopeful that we do that this comes back with the 10 grade. I've tried a couple times on this Feraligatr, and I'm hoping this one is the charm. I love this artwork. It is so nice. More amazing Kuki Saito stuff there. And yeah, just fantastic. So really hoping that this is the one for the PSA 10 grade. Again, we are very clean on the back, but it's not the back I'm worried about. It's that centering that tends to get you on these Japanese Dragon Frontiers cards. But I think this is within the realm of PSA 10, so let's hope. All right, now into the EX cards. I have a ton of Japanese EX cards. Would not be a 4th star submission without a bunch of these. So we have the EX cards from the Scam Mew gift box. If you remember, I purchased a Mew gift box where it said, oh, it's been opened, but all the cards are there. We promise, you know, Mewtwo Gold Star, Pikachu Gold Star in the title of the listing. When it comes in, turns out that there was no Gold Star cards, and it was it was everything except the Gold Star cards. Basically, all of the quarter decks were still in their bands, their plastic bands. They had never been opened. That's what sort of gave me confidence to bid on this, because it was just like, oh, well, it hasn't really been opened. Just the plastic casing's been taken off. But nope, the gold stars were removed. I got screwed. I paid quite a bit of money for that deck. So hopefully these cards can come in high grades to kind of recoup my losses. They are pretty nice. As I mentioned, they came directly out of the sealed packaging. So hopefully something like this Mew will hit a PSA 10, and that will recoup some of the losses from bidding on something. Pretty clean condition, again, as I mentioned, right out of the gift box. But these things were not packaged super well, so some 9s on these cards would not surprise me. Next up from the gift box, we got Folklore's Lucario EX. I believe it's Folklore's Lucario EX. I think it's really cool that we have Lucario EX cards, Lucario being a Gen 4 Pokemon, but in the Gen 3 style. I think that's super cool. I love that. I wish we did more of that. I love the Celebration set where they kind of did newer cards with retro designs, with the Greninja Gold Star, the Light Toxtricity, the Mimikyu, Delta, Hydreigon C, that kind of stuff. It just stinks we didn't get it in Japanese, because that would have been fantastic. All right. The final EX card in the Mew gift box, Mightyena EX. So yeah, if these cards basically all come back 10s, then we're doing pretty well. But if they don't, then that was a difficult purchase to stomach. All right, next up, we got 3 copies of Wailord EX. Check that out. Just a beautiful, beautiful card. 2 unlimited and 1 first edition. I went through all my Japanese EX cards. I picked out pretty much the biggest ones and the ones in the best condition to submit initially. So we got 3 Wailords. Hoping we get some 10s on these. That would be great. I have the Japanese EX set complete, but I really think that these cards are not really going ungraded for high amounts of money. I think they're maybe a little bit undervalued. So when I can pick these cards up for, under $50 and they're in good condition, I can grade them and either put them in the collection or sell them down the line for a couple $100. I'll do that all day long. So Credilli EX, first edition from Magma vs. Aqua. Another awesome card there. We got 2 copies of Sceptile EX. Big card. I remember in like the peak of the hype, mid 2021, I want to say, I was selling 9s of these for like $220 or something crazy. Obviously that time is long past, but still very happy to get these off and graded. We got 1 first edition and 1 unlimited. And yeah, hopefully we get some 10s on those. Next up, this is a really nice one, Rayquaza EX, Rulers of the Heavens, Unlimited Edition. Yeah, even this is one of the biggest EX cards, but you're still not paying, on Yahoo Japan where I bought this, I was paying under $100 for this card. That's probably because it does have some edge wear at the top. This is not a perfect condition card. I'm thinking we get a 9 on this just because of that edge wear at the top. But even a 9 of this card still goes for a good amount of money. And getting a mint condition Rayquaza EX from 2003, you can never pass on that. Next up, 2 copies of Ninetales EX, first edition from Undone Seal. Really, really nice on these. I think both of these might have some very, very slight wear along the edges. So a 9 here and there. Hopefully maybe 1 10 and 1 9 we hope for these cards. Would not surprise me if, both came back 10s, both came back 9s. That's just how PSA rolls most of the time. Next up, We got a Rocket Scyther EX. Very, very nice. First edition from Rocket Gang Strikes Back. You can see the first edition stamp much easier there. You can see that it does just stick into that top, just stick into that that little dot on the bottom of the card. This is probably going to be a 9, just some light wear along the top edge, but a 9 of a Rocket Gang Strikes Back EX, always will take that. Next up, here's a big one, Arcanine EX First Edition Mirage Forest. I don't think I've ever had an extra Arcanine EX. These are really hard to find. You know, I've seen, you know, multiple mint condition copies of most Japanese EX cards, I would say. But Arcanine has been a challenge to find an additional copy. But this one's really clean. I think I got this for relatively cheap, so really hoping it does come back with that high grade. Here's some hoarding. I have 4 copies of Flygon EX from Mirage Forest, 3 first edition and 1 unlimited. Again, these are also cards that I just like, I pick up whenever I see them, you know. If they're good condition, if they're good cards, I'll throw in a bid, and more often than not, I'm willing to pay more than what other people are paying for these cards. So I end up winning them, and that's always great. We're sending off quite the Mirage Forest set here. We got Altaria EX, another beautiful card, first edition from Mirage Forest. Another one that's very, very clean. Hoping for the 10 grade on that. Yet another Mirage Forest EX card here. We got Armaldo EX. Probably not as exciting as stuff like the Arcanine, the Flygon, but this is a really nice Kimi Masago art, and this is actually, I've had many extra copies of this, and it always seems to sell pretty well. So I guess people do like this card. All right, next up, really excited about this. 2 copies of the Milotic EX from the Water Quick Construction Starter Pack set. I do not collect promo EX cards, but this is a beautiful promo EX card that I don't collect them. I don't consider them part of a complete Japanese set-based EX set, but I pick them up when I can. This is certainly one that I wanted to pick up. So beautiful. In English, one of the most expensive EX cards, but in Japanese, not too expensive because it did come in a deck. So you can just buy the deck and get the card. So hoping we get at least 110 on these. These are so nice. Yeah, would really love to get the high grades on these, and they are very clean. All right, next up, 2 copies of Bellissi EX. Really, really nice card. I always love this card. I always pick up extra copies. I always send them in. Yeah, 160 HP was very big at the time. I remember having this card as a kid and thinking it was the best card because it had such a high HP number. You know, that's how we did it when we were kids. Biggest HP wins. Biggest HP is the coolest. But here is the final EX card for this submission. It is a Delta Species Sceptile EX. Very, very cool. First edition. The first Delta Species EX is very, very cool. So always cool to see that. Always cool to submit a ton of awesome Japanese EX cards. All right. Now we're on to the final part of this submission, and it is Level X and Diamond and Pearl era cards. So obviously I still have a lot more cards to submit. Those will go in a second order. I'm splitting these up both so the charges don't hit the credit card at exactly the same time. and also just to sort of spread out the risk in terms of shipping and everything. But next up, oh, I actually have 2 copies of this. 2 copies of Empoleon Level X. 1 first edition, 1 unlimited, centering a little off on the first edition copy, but beyond that, really, really nice. Love these cards. Really hoping we get at least 110. That would be pretty fantastic. Another Level X from Space Time Creation. We have the Infernape Level X. I am going after a complete set-based Japanese Level X set. And while I don't have a lot of them in 10s, I do have quite a few of them in mint gradable condition. So this is really one of the first times where I'm sending off a ton of them to really start to crack into that collection goal. So we got the Infernape Level X from Space Time Creation as well. I already have the Torterra Level X in a 10. So if I were to get the Empoleon and the Infernape, that would complete that set. That would be fantastic to get the starters. Next up, we got 2 copies of Glaceon Level X Unlimited Edition. This card's been one of the harder ones to find in mint condition. I don't believe any of these I'm super confident in scoring a 10. Just very little edge wear, very tiny stuff on the top. That, you know, if it scored a 9, it wouldn't surprise me, just given those very tiny issues. But I do think that, you know, 10s are possible on these cards, if not likely. Just, you know, one of those things that, you know, you never know how PSA is going to grade. But yeah, so really hoping we do end up getting 10s on these cards. Yeah, as I said, Glaceon's been one of the harder ones to find in mint condition. Surprisingly, Leafeon, which I have 2 unlimited edition copies, has not been very hard to find. I think I already have 110. I have a couple off at PSA that I sent off in that December 2020 submission, and I have 2 more mint copies here. I think both of these I am pretty confident in them scoring 10s. Yeah, both of them are pretty nice. So if none of the Glaceons get 10s, then hopefully someone will be willing to trade for a Leafeon. Next up, we got a promo Garchomp Level X. This is from the Shining Darkness special book, I believe. These special books are super cool. I think I have a couple of them. But yeah, really, really happy with this promo Garchomp. These promo Level X's surprisingly are worth a good amount of money. So yeah, we'll see how that grades. We'll see, you know, what the market for that is. As I said, I will just collect the set-based Level X, but there really aren't too many promo Level X. That might be a possibility as well. So that is the Diamond and Pearl era Level X, and now I have a ton of Platinum Level X. So I do have more Level X to submit, but I decided to go with a couple Diamond and Pearl and then the entire Level X set from my complete Platinum era that I purchased. I do like with the Split Earth stuff, I like to try to keep everything together. I think for the first submission back, doing these big sets that I purchased is a good idea. Just to see how kind of everything grades together rather than, you know, putting in like the 2 extra Giratina Level X that I have, and I'll just stick to the one from the set for now. So we have every single Level X from the Platinum era to submit. First off, Shaman Level X, the Sky form. Very nice. The land form was in Diamond and Pearl 6, which I don't know the Japanese set name. It's Stormfront in English, but very, very nice. Next up, there's that Giratina Level X. These cards are just so nice. They have the normal holo, but then they also have a star foil pattern, which I'm just catching there in the light. So yeah, these double holo level X's, they started it in the with Diamond and Pearl 6 and then moved into the Platinum era. Next up, Palkia G level X. Very, very nice. Drapion level X. Not too exciting, but when you're submitting a full Platinum Series set, you got to submit them all. So there we go, Drapion level X. Dialga G level X, very, very nice. I've been purchasing level X for a while now, maybe 1 to 2, probably like 2 years now. I've been going after level X cards in Japanese, and the Platinum ones, a lot of the Platinum ones have been pretty challenging to find. The Dialga and Palkia G are not easy. This Flygon was not easy. This is the first really mint condition copy of this one that I have. So really happy with that. This Hippowdon has been very easy. I have probably like 3 other copies that are in good enough condition to grade. Next up, Alakazam 4 level X. This one has been pretty challenging to find. This is another one where it's pretty much the first one that I've come across in good condition. And yeah, I should mention that again, these platinum cards that I bought from this binder set are just really, really mint. Very similar to the Split Earth. But I haven't graded a lot of them yet. I think I only graded the shiny Shinx. That came back a 9, which is pretty understandable with the shinies. But Luxray GL level X, and all these cards are first edition, which is great. I don't really care about it first edition versus unlimited in Japanese, but it's just nice for continuity. So we got Luxray GL level X, a very, very nice card. I do have a couple of these in mint condition, but I think I graded 1 and it got a 9, so still hoping to find that elusive 10. Floatzel GL level X, very, very nice there. Blaziken FB level X, very nice again. Maybe a little off center, but I'm just submitting all of them. I think maybe there might be a couple with some very minor issues, but almost all these it seems are pack fresh, which is great. Electivire FB level X, super, super nice. I have this in a 10 in English. Next up, we got Staraptor FB level X. I graded this before and it got a 9, so really hoping that this one is able to bring back the 10 grade. Awesome card. Ryo Ueda art, love that. Next up, Tangrowth level X from Advent of Arceus. Not too much to write home about with good old Tangrowth there, but still very, very nice. Here's one that's likely going to get an upcharge. Gengar level X. Really, really nice. This one is super clean, so assuming that all works out, yeah, we're probably going to get slapped up to the at least $30 tier on this Gengar. But again, as I mentioned, I'm fine with PSA telling me what cards I need to pay more for, as opposed to me paying $30 a card for everything and, you know, getting a 9 or an 8 or something that I miss. Yeah. Another one that might likely get the upcharge is the Rayquaza C level X. Very, very nice there. Also, who knows? The market could completely crash in the next 5 to 20 months that it takes for these cards to be graded at PSA. So again, that's another thing. You know, you never know what the market's going to do. We all got tossed by PSA upcharging our cards to 2022, 2021 prices when we submitted them in 2020. Maybe now we'll get the we'll get the good end of that stick now that prices seem to be coming down a little bit. Arceus Level X. This is the only Level X card to have this the Arceus pattern, which is this really nice kind of sheen across it. So yeah, there's a lot going on this card, but it is really nice. So yeah, hoping we get the 10 on this. I feel like this is kind of the definitive Arceus card from Gen 4. And the final Level X we have is Salamence Level X, a beautiful, beautiful card. One that I graded previously, but I think it got a 9, so it would be really nice to get the 10 grade back in, get the 10 grade finally for that card. All right, and the last thing that I have to submit from the Diamond and Pearl era is the Shinies. So I did already grade the Shinx, but I do have the Yanma to grade and quite a few others as well. I'm thinking on 9s for most of these. You know, again, this is a very, very mint set that I bought, like pack fresh, and there's still chipping on some cards, still issues. But, you know, maybe a 10 sprinkled in here and there would be great. Ponyta here, this is a big one. This one's a little off center, but still really, really nice. Here's a huge one. Milotic, just incredible. Again, this is probably going to get a 9, if not an 8. Very, very tiny chipping, just in that corner that you can see. And this is standard for these cards. But wow, just incredible. The high grades on this card, 9s and above, are like non-existent. I think maybe there's 2 PSA 10s. It's a very, very challenging card to find and grade. Bagon, this one might be a 10 candidate. Very little chipping on the edges. And very, very clean on the back. So that would be nice if we were able to score the 10 on the Bagon. Relicanth, another one that looks pretty nice. Very minimal chipping on the edges. And very clean on the back. And the final 3 cards here, we got Swablu, really, really nice. This might be another 10 candidate. Centering is actually really good on this, so that would be nice. Oop, just knocked the camera a little bit there, my apologies. Next up, Vulpix, really, really nice here. Wish they did, like, I know they do the shiny babies, but I wish they did a couple more. Like, you know, they did the Milotic, but like, you need to do a shiny Ninetales or something. But last but not least, good old derpy Lotad. That's a perfect way to finish off the submission with a shiny Lotad. Gotta love it. So that is going to do it for this PSA submission. I believe this is 95, 96 cards, just short of 100 cards in this first order. So these are going to get packaged up and shipped off to PSA, and we'll see how long it takes for them to get back. They're quoting 5 months for the turnaround time. I highly doubt that. But, you know, we'll see how things go. I'd be very happy to have these back within, I would say, 8 to 10 months. You know, maybe early next year, I think would be pretty good. We'll set the wish list at February, maybe February to March. All right. So, once again, thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to stick around for part 2 of this $18 per card value order that I'll be sending off in the near future. So thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stick around for more videos.